All right, hello everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well. I am coming at you today with obviously a very different looking notebook because this is my new planner. And if you are not interested in the saga and the backstory behind this book and you just want to see the flip through, I will put a timestamp on the screen right now. But if you are a subscriber of mine and you've seen my previous videos, you're probably looking at this Filofax and you're being like, what the hell, Tori? Like another planner change, really? And I don't blame you. But this is another one of those weird universe things where this book kind of just fell into my lap unexpectedly, and I feel like I kind of just spoke it into existence. And so we're rolling with it. It's here. She's here to stay. This is the Filofax Malden cover in the ochre color, and this is in the personal size, but I am not in a rings. This is normally a rings planner, and if you've watched my videos before, I've mentioned that I'm not a rings girly by any means, and I actually de-ringed this book because if you don't know, personal sized Filofax books, or at least this one, the Malden, can actually fit B6 size notebooks. And people have been doing this for years. This is not a new thing. The Malden is actually kind of like known for being de-ringed to fit B6 Stylogy books. I am super happy. I have mentioned on some of my previous videos that I was really interested in the B6 Papertessdesigns Notebook, but she didn't have any available on her website. So I was content with just staying in my A6 book and then waiting until 2025 to get one of these. And then randomly one day I checked Instagram, which I never do, and I had checked her page and she had put on her story that she was going to be selling some of her backstock books. Here we are. I was able to get one. I'm super grateful, and I am in love with her, to say the least. I did de-ring this Filofax myself. I actually bought this cover secondhand, or like used off of Amazon, and when I did de-ring it, I had noticed that the rings actually had a few gaps in them, so I'm assuming that's why it was returned. So I didn't feel super bad de-ringing this. Now I just have a pair of rings. I know sometimes people can like fix the gaps, but yeah, don't feel as bad taking those out. So I just have some sticky notes stored in here. These are monthly printables that I just recently made for Patreon. And then I have a kind of like information card with personal info. This little magnetic clip is from Cloth and Paper, and then I have a postcard from Mini Super Stickers. In this little zipper, I've just been keeping some stamps in here. Then on the zipper, I actually put this little charm thing on here, and lately I've just been leaving it unzipped. So when I close my book, she just kind of hangs off the bottom and is really cute. That is how I have this all set up in the cover. And then for my actual book, I actually put this adhesive pocket that I got on Amazon just straight on the cover, which normally I would never do, but it seems pretty easy to remove if and when I want to take it off. But I thought this was a good way to kind of customize my cover a little bit more since I can't put a clear cover on it. And so in this pocket, I just have a pencil board from Hobonichi. This is the A6 size. And then I have this little article. This is on keeping a notebook from John Didion. And I just went through and made notes on it. So I keep that in here. And then if you guys have watched my channel, I have moved the Toast Cat with me. And he just keeps me accountable and makes sure that I am not getting into things that I shouldn't be. And then I have just been putting the monthly calendars on this pocket. I changed these up recently, and I think I want to start marking the days as they pass on here. And then I have been highlighting important dates, appointment dates, things like that. I could complain about one thing about this cover is that this guy is like always flopping onto the side, and so usually I just have to like hold him down with something. So I'm actually gonna put this cup on him right there. This is the inside cover. I have this clear pocket from Cloth and Paper, which has my Polaroid of my fiance and I in here. This is a note from my best friend Holly, who I love very much. And then this is a school schedule. And then this is the yearly overview page, which I don't have a kind of purpose for these empty boxes right now, but I have been putting stickers on the months that have passed. I was doing this in my A6 book and I really liked it, so it's something I want to continue. Something that I really love and that stands out to me in the Papertessdesigns notebooks and all of her books is the fonts. To me, it feels very romantic and feminine, but still very simple and minimal. And so it's something I really like about this book, and it stands out compared to other notebooks that I've seen. This is the index page, which is kind of broken up quarterly. I use this the same as I did in my Hobonichi, so I'm using it as a habit tracker for exercise, physical movement. April, I was killing it. This month, not so much. So hopefully in June we can get back onto like a regular schedule, but it's one of the reasons I really like using this for habit tracking, and I can just notice patterns and things with myself. So that is that page. And then we get into the actual planner, which is set up a little bit differently than most. So I'm actually going to skip to January. You get your monthly calendar right here, and then you get a blank spread. And then after that, it moves straight into the weeklies. And I really like this weekly dashboard. I think it's really reminiscent of the Hobonichi weeks layout. And then she gives you 7 blank grid pages. So you can use these as dailies. They're undated, so you don't have to use them as dailies, but you get 7 blank pages here. And then after those 7 pages, you move right into the next week, and then the same thing follows. And so once you get to the end of the month, it goes into your next monthly calendar, and then the same process repeats itself. So this is definitely a lot different of a layout than I am used to. I've been a Hobonichi girl for the past year, so this is different. But so far, I have been really enjoying this. I've been in this book now about 3 weeks, I believe. I don't think I have a preference either way, either layout. It's been really nice to kind of have everything chunked together in one little section. And so obviously I just got this book, so January, February, March are empty. I did fill out all the monthly calendars, and then if there was like anything during that week that I had written in, I would write it in here. Like here's an example, but that's basically all I did for backlogging these months. And then we officially start getting into the book for April. So everything in April is backlogged from my A6 Hobonichi book. I try to make things match as closely as I could to each other so it was accurate. But here is the monthly calendar. I'm using these the exact same. I put my favorite quotes and poems that I've found kind of on the perimeter here. And then I use my days for appointments, events, videos that I've posted for YouTube and things like that. And then the blank page that is following the monthlies, I'm using for a notes page, so like just messy, quick notes. I wasn't in this book in April, obviously, so this one is blank, but you'll see later in May how I use that. And then we get into the weekly and daily pages. My weekly dashboard in April is going to look different than it does in May because all of my habit tracking and to-do list I was doing on sticky notes in my A6, so I don't have that information anymore, so I wasn't able to copy it over. So these will look a little bit different, but I will just flip through the dailies. Not every daily page is filled out, and that's something that I want to continue because I think it just eases the pressure off of myself a little bit about making sure like everything is filled out. But when I was copying information from my A6, like some of the pages I just couldn't read my handwriting, so some of the days are blank, and then some of the pages also just have like a quote or a poem on them, which I actually really like, and you'll see more of through these pages. Basically using these for journaling, sketching, ephemera, memory keep, literally like anything you could put into a planner, I have been using this book for, and I just really like how these have turned out. The B6 size has been like a breath of fresh air size-wise, and just being able to fit pictures and ephemera cohesively and not have to like stack things and fold things and like try to get to fit them on the page like I was doing in my A6. So this has been really nice. I, I like this page. It just says recovering from New York, missing New York, which is so true. This is a little painting I did, which I do really enjoy painting on this paper. This is the Tomoe River paper. I don't know if it's the Sanzin. I feel like there's a lot less ghosting and bleed through on this paper compared to my A6 book. And I don't know if that's just like a placebo thing and it's like all in my head, but I do feel like this paper is holding my pen a lot better than the other. And the pen that I used throughout the entirety of this book so far is my Zebra Sarasa Dry. This is the Airfit grip in 0.5 size. And this is like my tried and true. I really love this pen and I love having kind of bolder handwriting. For some reason, I cannot do like a fine nib. It just looks and feels really like scratchy to me. This is a page I also really like. You'll see this come up a few times, but I use the date as like a border on the page. Another quote page. Another poem. A lot of the images, probably 99% of the images you see in my book are going to be from Pinterest. I love using Pinterest to find inspiration and quotes, poems. Brought this over from my A6 because I think this is just super cute. This is literally just lyrics to Fortnite from Taylor Swift because that happened that day and that's all I could think about. Another more blank page. Poems. I'm really into orchids lately right now. You'll see these come up a few more times in the book. I really like this page too. Again, another blank page. Something that has really helped me with approaching blank pages or like how I perceive blank pages is thinking of them as interludes, kind of like on an album when you're listening to music. Sometimes there are interludes to just like break up the album a little bit. And so normally this page would make me like eye twitch a little bit and I would feel like I would need to fill the space out, but I've since changed my like perception a little bit, and so now I think of these as interludes between pages, and that has been very helpful for me. So if you're someone who struggles with blank space, that may be helpful for you. Unless you hate interludes in music, maybe that won't help you, but that's something that has been different for me in this book that I've been really enjoying. I also love the aesthetics of this page a lot. More quotes. It's my greenie. This is something my daughter says, and we don't know where she got it from or what it means, but it's really funny and it's really cute when she says it, and so I put it in there, and it makes me smile when I read it. This is my favorite rom-com I've probably ever read. If you're a romance girly or just a fiction girly, I love this book so much. It made me laugh out loud like multiple times, and she is steamy, so if that's important to you, she is steamy. And I gave it a 5 stars, and I probably will reread it here in the next couple weeks because I just miss it so much. But yeah, I had to put that in there. Here is May calendar, which this one is a little bit busier compared to April. I actually just got another part-time job. So I have my full-time job. Now I have a part-time job, which I start next week, and then YouTube, and then obviously I am a mom. So my schedule has gotten a lot busier recently, and with that, I think this size increase from A6 to B6 has been very helpful for that, and I just feel like I have more room to throw my life into compared to the A6 where it felt like I was trying to like fit my life into that, whereas this I can just like throw whatever at it. So this is the May monthly, and then here is how I plan on using those blank spreads. So it's just kind of like a messy notes page, a space for me to brain dump, do whatever. I have this sticky note that I recently made for Patreon, and it is just these reminders that don't really have a specific date. It's things I need to get done or things I need to do, but there's no set time frame for them. So it has soon, later, and then in time. So soon I need to pay these bills, later I need to schedule this stuff, and so I've just been moving this from week to week, and this has been really helpful. Also put a sticky note in here. These are creators that have recently really inspired me and how I use this book and set this book up. So some that are ring or like Malden specific notebooks is Peanuts Planner Co. Sleepynotesclub. I love her planner flip through so much. And then Page of H, who is fairly new, but she had a Malden, and I really liked how she set her pages up. And then Megan Rhiannon, obviously, she's the OG. And then Ammie Yall, I really enjoy. And then The Common Corner, she's great too. And so all those creators have really inspired me in this book. And then other creators that I really adore is Ellie's books and This Joe journals. I love them so much. They're great. And I enjoy their videos a lot. So if you haven't checked any of these creators out, I definitely recommend it. I'll have everyone's channel linked below if you're interested. But when it comes to the inspiration for this B6 notebook, a lot of my inspiration pulls from these creators. All right, and then we get into May weekly and daily pages. This is a painting I did. I really like this page too. Lately on some of these like blank spaces, I've just been coloring in this like checker pattern, which is actually a very meditative thing to do, which has been really nice, but I have it a few times, yeah, in this book. So that's kind of like a ongoing theme I have in here. This was my New York trip with my best friend Holly, which was so much fun. I love New York so much. I wish I lived there, and I miss it every day, but posting in my little trip ephemera was really nice. This is a pomegranate that I painted from a reference picture that I found on Pinterest. This is something I also found on Pinterest. It was this article by James Dickey, and I really liked it. I've been in a poetry mood since like March or April, and so I just copied some of the text from this onto this page. Something I'm also doing in this book is putting some of my Filofax pages in here. So when I ordered this Malden cover, it came with the inserts, and I didn't want to throw them away and waste them, so I've been kind of inserting them into my book where I can. So you'll see this a little bit more, but this is one of the pages that I just decided to do my journaling on. This is a sticky note I made for Patreon. And then May 11th, this is when my B6 officially came and I had it in my hands. So everything up until this point was backfilled from my A6 notebook, and then starting here from out, I was in this book full time. So this is what my weekly spreads actually look like. So I have events, appointments, birthdays on the little calendar section, and then on the top I have a habit tracker, and then I have my home to-dos and my work to-dos. So this is what's normally open on my desk every day. This is what I'm referring to, like what needs to get done, and I'm also using my monthly calendar to reference like what's going on that week. So when I set up this page, I am referencing this and then using the information here to put right here. So again, it reminds me a lot of Hobonichi weeks, and I really like it in that sense. And then obviously having like the blank pages of following that has been really nice. So this is when I got my Malden cover, more orchids. Here is another Filofax insert that I just taped in, and I put another quote, more orchids, a receipt, but I really like the aesthetic of this and just layering things. More quotes. This was last week. This is not my favorite spread ever, and I actually covered what I had wrote right here. And then I had tried to paint the Billie Eilish album, and I hated how it came out, so I just taped something on top of it. This is a page. I recently went to an antique store and got this bag of stamps from like across the world, and the bag was $1, which was crazy, and it came with like 100, 200 stamps inside, so I just picked some of my favorite ones and taped them in here. This is a painting I recently did from a reference picture I found on Pinterest. I really like him, and I think I'm going to try and turn him into a sticker for Patreon as a digital download, but I was very nervous, or I have been very nervous to paint in here recently. I think it's just because it's like that new book feeling, and I don't want to mess it up. And after messing up this page, I was really nervous for this, but I really, really like how he turned out. And then this is this week. This was yesterday, again, another Filofax page, so I just used the weekly spread and then just filled out Tuesday, since yesterday was Tuesday. And then this is today, which is blank, and I need to fill out still. That is all of the pages so far. I think they're fluffing up and chunking up really nicely. I love the feel and just like flipping through these. I'm a very tactile person. If something does not feel comfortable and cozy for me, I cannot get into it. I have to have some sort of like connection with the feel of something, and so far these pages have felt really great, and I just really like how they're turning out. Back here there are 27 blank pages, blank grid pages that she gives you. After the January calendar, there's one blank, an index page, and then 27 blank grid pages. I don't have a purpose for these right now. I might in the future, but that's back there. And then in the very back, I just have this postcard that I got from the antique store, and then this bookmark from Strand bookstore in Manhattan, and then this Filofax bookmark that came with the Malden. I wasn't expecting to be in this book. I was perfectly content with being in my Hobonichi, but I'm so glad that I made the change. This feels very at home for me. And again, my personal life has just changed a lot recently, and so being able to balance all of those things but still have a hobby that I enjoy and that's meditative and brings me a lot of peace has been something very important to me. And I apologize for all the planner changes. I know that's can be frustrating, especially since I've been known as a Hobonichi girly. To change that, I know can be kind of frustrating as a viewer, so I appreciate your patience with me. I'm essentially using this very similarly as I was in my Hobonichi books, but I know it is a different book, so I will have everything linked below that I can, and if I don't have it linked, let me know and I will try and find it for you. But I appreciate you guys for being here and for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.